What was it like writing this book, and what inspired you to do so?
Well, it was actually an idea I had probably 2 decades ago. I was just sort of thinking about our fascination with lottery winners and how the conventional wisdom is that winning the lottery ruins your life. And I kind of wanted to see, well, what's the truth behind that? Can we talk to some of these people, see what their experiences have been like? And that was just sort of a back burner, one of many ideas I've had over the years. And it actually would have been really impractical to pull off because lottery winners go off the radar completely. They don't want to talk to you. They've been besieged by, you know, long lost friends and relatives looking for a loan or scammers or whatever. It really does mess with your reality, especially when you're not ready for it and you have no idea how to handle this kind of wealth. Um, so, so yeah, it wouldn't have worked as a book, but also the idea was to have like each chapter would be a different lottery winner's experience. And not only could I not find them, but it seemed like it would be kind of limited in scope. And I decided when, it came time to actually write this book to flesh out what a jackpot meant. And that would be more realistic things like having a startup company that sells or getting in on a massive IPO or things that we can relate to a little more than the dumb luck of winning the lottery. And also there's a lot of nuance because, how you earn your money has a lot to do with how you react to it. And, if you inherit it, if you get it by luck, which is also inheriting is by luck, or if you, have built something that you care about. So it really changes the psychology of wealth.
We don't necessarily think about how people come into their money. We're just so focused on the money itself, the lifestyle, but there's so much more to it, like you're saying. And, I'm interested because I'm sure you encountered a lot of different surprises along the way. What was most intriguing that you found out just in terms of writing this book and talking to folks?
Well, we've all kind of heard a lot about wealth inequality in this country, but when you dig into the details of it, it's just some of them are so absurd and so bizarre, things you just never think about. Like, for instance, okay, sales taxes, right? You and I, well, the one percenters in this country pay about 2 cents on every dollar they earn in sales taxes. The very poor in this country pay about 10 cents on every dollar they earn. And part of the reason for that is the way we tax goods and services. A lot of the things that are consumed by very wealthy people, including like legal services, accounting services, buying box seats at a Warriors game, theater and opera tickets, those things aren't taxed. Whereas, everyday items that every family needs are taxed. There's also caps on luxury items, like if you buy $100 million yacht in New Jersey, I think it's the maximum sales tax is $22,000. In South Carolina, there's a tax cap of $500. So you could buy a Gulfstream jet in South Carolina, pay a $500 sales tax, whereas you buy a Honda Civic, you would normally pay more than that, right? So there's, so the wealthy are definitely getting a little benefit. Even wine. Okay, so wine. If I go to Trader Joe's and buy a bottle of $2 Chuck, the tax on that bottle of wine is the same as if a billionaire buys a $2,000 Chateau Latour.
That's crazy.
Because it's charged by volume. Now, these are just weird little details, but when we all think we know about the extent of wealth inequality, especially since there's been all the talk. Joe Biden's been talking about it, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders. We really have no idea how crazy it is. I mean, the bottom 40%, the least wealthy 40% of Americans have zero wealth, zero. And it cancels out. I mean, the people at the top of that range have some, but the people at the bottom are in debt. So if you look at that group collectively, no wealth, which is astounding in a country that's supposed to be egalitarian. One of the things that I talk about how this came to pass, and a lot of it is in our tax code. And the tax code, I like to say, is a moral document. It's an expression of our values as a society and what we want to reward and what we want to punish. And for quite a while, it's been set up so that it rewards passive capital. In other words, if you have a ton of money to invest, you get a much lower tax rate on the gains in that money that you invest in the markets or whatever. Whereas if you're working, every day for wages, you pay much higher tax. And Biden's trying to flip that now, but we'll see what happens.